Nurses have been on the picket line across the country.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep our NHS alive.
This was the scene in Euston in central London, and the person you can see right there in the front with the megaphone, that is Ada Ferenc-Karoma. She's a rheumatology nurse and she has been on the picket line over the past couple of days in central London, and I'm pleased to say she joins us live now. Ada, welcome. We saw you there in those images. We see the passion with which you and the other nursing teams were there with you. I just wonder, how do you feel about having to be out on the streets on the picket line?
Thank you, Kasia. I think it's very sad. We did it with a very heavy heart. We did it to attain safer staffing levels. We did it to save patients' lives. The situation as it is cannot continue. It's not sustainable. A lot of nurses are under pressure financially. People are leaving the front line, and the front line is so burdened that it's the rest of us that have to carry the burden because we have chosen to stay. And we're hoping that this opportunity opens the door for the government to at least listen to us.
And when you say that you're doing it to save lives, arguably you're away from your patients. How does that make you feel?
It saddens me, but what I have to say is that as nurses, patients will always and have always been our first priority. Safe patient care is also our priority. And so even though we've walked out, the patients we have spoken to are fully in support of the strike action because they see day to day what we go through.
And when you talk about the reasonings behind getting to this stage, having you guys out on the streets like this, just give us an indication of how difficult it is for you in terms of, say, how much you earn as a rheumatology nurse.
So, as a specialist rheumatology nurse, I've trained for over 10 years. I did my standard undergraduate health diploma qualification. Then I went back and did a health studies degree. Then I went back and did a master's degree so that I could be highly trained and highly skilled to be able to provide my patients with phenomenal standard patient care.
And how much do you earn for that? Do you mind my asking?
So, without going too much into detail, all I can say is that for the level of service that I gave and for the years of commitment I've shown to the NHS, I feel as though at the moment with the current financial crisis, the cost of living crisis, for example, it means I'm barely surviving on my salary rather than living. I want to be able to go to a job that I fully, clearly enjoy. When my patients come to see me, the encounter for them is quite fulfilling. They know they're supported, they know they're cared for, but I know the burden that I have to go through underneath it all. Financially, it's not sustainable, and I'm hoping that after this strike, we'll at least have an opportunity to be offered a fair pay, a fair wage in line with inflation. That means I would no longer have to worry about putting the heating on, and that's in real times what I have to worry about now. The stark choices are putting the heating on and not affording to pay your mortgage or your rent, putting the heating on and not affording to buy the essentials in a shopping week, within your groceries for the week, etc. It also means, things that extracurricular activities that I had offered, for our children, I can no longer afford. So all of those have had to be cut. And to be able to do a job that I love so much, I'm hoping that I shouldn't have to continue like this. And at some point, I'm hoping that the government and the Prime Minister will listen. And I say this not just for unqualified or junior nurses or senior nurses. I say this in the best interest of the patients too, because nurses like us, in whom the NHS has invested so much, we don't want to leave the front line and go into private sector work. We hope that they'll be able to keep us on the front line so that we'll be able to offer the patient care that we have over so many years trained to provide.
We appreciate your frankness. Ada Ferenca-Karoma, a rheumatology nurse who has spent the past 2 days on the picket line. Thank you.
Thank you.